Hello and welcome to the news tonight at 10 o'clock. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold and we'll be joined by Mugalu Muhammad on the sign language. But first, let's take a look at tonight's top stories. In our headlines tonight, Mr. Museveni lashes out to the judiciary over investors. UPDF confirms its military aircraft crash and investigations are underway. Uganda still averse to online e-passport. The Uganda Judicial Service Commission is set to replace a Chief Justice. And in sports, the Silverbacks resume training. Thank you for joining us. Very much so. In our top story, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has lashed out at the judges for frustrating investors, saying that it directly retards development and government's efforts to drive the economy to a middle-income status. Now, citing Tororo-based phosphate development project, President Museveni questioned the criteria used by some judges while handling some cases involving big projects, accusing the judiciary for suffocating investors. Now, the president advises the judiciary to prioritize commercial-related cases if the country's economic growth is to thrive.
Members of the judiciary are attending their 22nd annual conference running under the theme Discharging the Mandate of the Judiciary Towards a Modern, Professional and Effective Judiciary. While opening the conference, President Yoweri Museveni lashed out at judges for frustrating government programs, especially those geared at propelling the country's economy through investment.
I cannot. What is the logic? You could tell me what will be the logic. I'm now here. When these foreigners leave, you tell me what is exactly. What are you looking for? If these fellows are quarreling about ownership, for me, I don't care which Chinese owns what. What I care about is that my fertilizer is processed. My steel is processed. Now, if I see the one who is moving, I let him move. And we can award, but without stopping the project. Because remember, this project has got money from banks. And any day you delay, interest is accumulating. The money is not producing. You cannot be serious.
Whereas the president is cognizant of human resource gaps in the sector causing case backlog, he advised judges to prioritize commercial cases since they have an effect on the country's economic growth.
Who are fighting for divorce and so on, they can wait a bit. Let's first deal with the case of murder and commercial disputes, because these commercial disputes are the ones going really to shape our future.
Earlier, the Chief Justice Bart Katrebe highlighted achievements of the judiciary in the year ending and challenges that continue to downplay the judiciary in dispersing its constitutional mandate.
We fully realize that for the judiciary to be relevant to the needs of the people in Uganda and to contribute to national development, it must be trustworthy.
Commenting on the recent recruitments in the sector, Katrebe lauded the president for the gesture, though he was quick to remind him that this was mere replacements. But Katrebe appealed to government to expedite the process of handling the issue of understaffing.
The Honourable Minister of Justice should start considering proposals to increase the jurisdiction of chief magistrates and grade 1 magistrates so that we reduce on the workload of the High Court and provide speedier justice to the people, since accessing magistrates' courts is easier and cheaper than accessing the High Court.
Despite his earlier attack, the president underscored the sector as a critical arm of government, pledging its salary enhancement until it reaches international standards.
Let's not mix with these clerks. The clerks can wait a bit. But the legal, we can definitely move them to regional standards, even international standards, so that I have no problem with that, and I work for it.
President Museveni also proposed that retiring judicial officers should continue enjoying their privileges, earning either full or at least 80% of their salary while in service.
The idea to get our people out of temptation. We don't want a former judge to be hanging around lawyers in town to give him some part-time job when he has retired from the bench. This is the meaning. A judge should be like a former president. When Museveni retires, you will never hear Museveni working. You know, the other time when we were having our battle here with the exchange and all that, a European came and said, you know, that I should go and be Secretary General of the UN. I said, what? Secretary General of what? UN. President, Secretary General is a Karani.
Already, Cabinet passed the administration of the Judiciary Bill that intends to, among others, operationalize provisions of the Constitution relating to the judiciary, administration of justice, improve efficiency and effectiveness of courts. Dr. Skimono, UBC TV News.
Very well said there, Mr. President. You cannot be the Secretary General of UN. In other news, the UPDF has embarked on the civil-military activities as the day to commemorate NRA's first attempt to attack Kabamba nears. Now, on February 6, Tarehe Sita will be held in Nakaseke district to celebrate the genesis of the liberation struggle. Now, Ivan Carr reports with more details on the story.
Uganda People's Defense Forces has rolled out a program for the forthcoming Tarehe Sita to be held in Nakaseke at Butalangu grounds. Tarehe Sita and Armed Forces Week brings the UPDF closer to people through embarking on symbolic works to give back to the community. Uganda People's Defense Forces shall renovate schools, hospitals and also provide free medical services in Luweero, Nakasongola and Nakaseke.
Doing HIV/AIDS prevention activities, we'll project some educational film shows, distribute some IEC materials, and carry out fumigation against vectors and vermin in selected health centers.
Other services are ongoing, and the engineering brigade continues its operations on different projects. This year's Tarehe Sita has been launched by the Vice President, Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi.
I remind you that you can only continue guaranteeing our security when you are healthy and strong. I therefore caution you to guard against such lethal weapons like AIDS, HIV, and other social skills that can endanger your life.
Tarehe Sita, a Kiswahili word meaning 6 days, is historical in the liberation of Uganda. Every year on the 6th February, Tarehe Sita is celebrated to mark the day of the first attack on Kabamba that led to a 5-year guerrilla war struggle that ushered NRA, now NRM, into power.
It's our way of accounting symbolically and reconnecting with the masses that they supported the liberation movement. I think, like in the Bible, we are one of the 10 lepers who come back to account.
This year's Tarehe Sita will be held under the theme consolidating the UPDF strategic partnership with the people to guard the gains of liberation. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Imbuya.
Well, thank you, Ivan Kawa. In other news, the Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, is at the forefront of ensuring that ICT sector tops the agenda of promoting income generation at all homesteads. The Minister's move comes at a time when ICT sector is looked at as an alternative to agriculture in terms of income generation. We take a look.
In his 34th NRM victory speech, President Yoweri Museveni highlighted the need to embrace non-agricultural sectors to heighten the job market in Uganda. President Museveni cited the ICT sector as one of the key priorities to promote income generation at all homesteads and transform the country from what he dubbed as working for the stomach. Museveni said about 4,000 companies in the ICT sector in Uganda currently employ over 15,000 locals, a move that justifies the NRM agenda of transformation.
The ICT sectors, the ones using the computers, which is a new sector. We need to attract more factories, more service companies, and they are flocking in because now we have put in place the basics. The roads you can see, you who came from Kampala.
Museveni's task is not a burden, as backed by the line minister for ICT and national guidance, Judith Nabakoba, who has high hopes in the rate at which the ICT sector is growing and being harnessed in Uganda. Nabakoba points out the recent innovation hub set up in Nakawa, Kampala, that will freely aid young innovators to develop their prototypes among many activities.
Because what we know, it has its positives and negatives, but we should capitalize on the positives to make it work out for the Ugandans, but also create employment for our youths, because there are so many companies that deal in ICT. Such companies can employ our youths. We talk about Google, we talk about Facebook, Twitter, but we can also have our own who are giants. They need to be embraced. You know, usually people think when something is Ugandan, it is fake, it is not authentic, but it is us to embrace our people when they develop such applications. We will work together the journey, and we shall be like the ones we are admiring.
Hardly 2 weeks in office as the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Nabakoba is at the forefront of reorienting herself with her sector agencies to ensure positive results in the growth of the ICT industry. In her visit to Vision Group headquarters in Kampala, Nabakoba called on the media to desist from spreading false information that will cause permanent damage about Uganda's economy.
In a way, because what I know, the media sets the agenda. They give out information, they set the agenda, and we call them the eyes and ears of the public. We believe in what they relay, what they give to the public. The public uses what they see, what they read to debate.
Nabakoba was accompanied by Moses Wetasa, the Commissioner, Information and Communication at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. The team was guided by the Managing Director, Robert Kabushenga, into a tour of the services offered at Vision Group. Daniel Mugoya, reporting for UBC News.
In other news, a subcommittee of cabinet headed by Bright Ramirama has been formed to handle the investigation into the alleged brutal activities of the fishermen on water bodies. Now, the Minister for Defense, Adolf Mwesige, revealed that the House during today's sitting that the subcommittee was formed Monday this week following the Parliament directive on the withdrawal of UPDF protection unit on the illegal fishing on the water bodies.
I spent about 4 hours in a meeting with the Minister for Defense, the Chief of Defense Forces, with the members from the island constituencies, discussing this.
Last month, the Parliament directed that all activities of UPDF protection unit on the water bodies be withdrawn following complaints by the fishermen. The matter has been pending in the House awaiting pronouncement by the relevant ministry, which matter attracted debate. However, on resumption of Parliament, the State Minister for Defense, Charles Sengola, informed the House that the ministry needed much more time to address the matter.
However, the statements are not yet ready now because I'm making consultations.
This prompted the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, to give the minister an ultimatum of 1 week to return to the House to give a comprehensive statement. Nonetheless, the Minister of Defense for Veteran Affairs, Adolf Mwesige, has informed the House that a sub-cabinet committee was formed Monday to investigate the same matter.
The Cabinet has set up a Cabinet committee which will be chaired by the Honorable Bright Ramirama in order to study the resolution, but also his committee has instructions to investigate all the complaints raised against UPDF Fish Protection Unit since its inception in February 2017 to date.
But in the meantime, as the Ministry of Defense who is in charge of the operations of this unit, is there something you can do to deal with the specific issues that are there?
Mwesije told Parliament that the status quo of UPDF Protection Unit does not change until the committee is done with the investigation in 3 weeks' time.
We shall, as a ministry, call these officers to order so that they use the language that is appropriate.
What is happening on the lake, the soldiers are becoming too rough than even before. Have you given them such instructions in these days that you're doing your investigation?
That was, I think the minister can help us understand in the interim measures whether he has also spoken to the UPDF officers.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Jacob Olanya has tasked the minister to come up with an immediate solution as the House awaits the report from the subcommittee.
The investigation might be this side when things are happening the other side, and so on and so forth. Is there a way that you can try to balance to see that people are helped?
He said, let us give the committee time to do this work, investigate all these complaints, and once the investigations are complete, government will come back to this House and report appropriately.
Nonetheless, fishermen in some landing sites like Kachango, Mwena and Kasekula, among others, expressed fear over the intended withdrawal of the army, saying it could lead to emergence of illegal fishing. It should, however, be noted that the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, last month proposed the invitation of the President to address members of Parliament on the same matter. The debate on the same matter resumes tomorrow as the Minister of Agriculture is expected to present his ministerial statement over the matter. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV News.
Now, relatedly, the fishing community in the Kalangala district has faulted Parliament for acting on rumors on the conduct of the UPDF Fisheries Protection Unit. The district local chairman, Kalangala William Lugolovi, says that the presence of the army on the waters is actually necessary. As Henry Okrut reports, it possesses a question of who is right between Parliament and the fishing community. Let's take a look.
Inside this army detach in Kalangala Town Council is a collection of substandard fishing boats. They were impounded by the Fisheries Protection Unit of the UPDF during several operations. Behind the use of these boats are illegal fishermen whose methods are allegedly criminal and provocative.
At night, these fishermen, they are fishing at night, putting on these hoods, camouflaging their face and having this one. So when you approach a boat, wanting to see whatever they have in the boat, he can do it this one and injure you.
But just next to the boats are illegal fishing nets, also recently confiscated. Some illegal fishermen have also been arrested in similar operations, while others have evaded arrest.
Someone puts on this one, he has a spear with a hook. So when you approach him, when you are not careful, he can injure you and he runs away without identifying his face.
This may have proved a challenge, but not to the extent of affecting efforts to curb illegal fishing.
We arrested the people who were masquerading as mukene fishers, only to find that they were having guns hidden under the polythene bags at the island of Bukasa.
But as such efforts register success, an invisible force said to be misinforming Uganda's parliament seems a disadvantage of such operations.
Immediately that recommendation was made, those commanders also came up to make their what? Statements. And the first statement was that we are not about to go. Intended to have disagreements between this House and the Executive. Madam Speaker, I would be very grateful if this House would agree with me that we endorse you and we give you ammunitions on all these issues, and you go and discuss this thing with the president. A minister is a representative of government. Parliament sits every day, come up with decisions for the executive to implement. It is now very clear, Right Honourable Speaker, that the executive is not willing, is in defiance of the decisions of this Parliament.
We've talked long enough. I don't want to believe that the Commander-in-Chief doesn't know. He knows. He knows.
Me, I would argue the parliamentarians to come and meet the soldiers themselves and meet the fishermen, so that's when they will get the facts instead of relying on rumors from offices.
Fishermen from Kalangala have of late disagreed with the legislators on the withdrawal of soldiers from monitoring and patrolling the waters. But do they still maintain the same stand? We met youthful Joan Zarwango at Kasekulo landing site in Kalangala. She appreciates the presidential initiative of deploying the army to rid the country of illegal fishing.
Ndi mukyala amanye nnyo ennyanja, ng'era ennyanja yempeeredde yembeezezaawo ne family yange, nga nyimidde wano nga nsaba President Museveni obutajjawo magye ku nnyanja. Amagye gatuyambye bingi nnyo. Mu kusooka twalowooza nti envuba embi yeneetugaggawaza amangu, naye tetulina kye twagifunamu.
She shares a similar point of view with other fishermen, including the chairperson of the fisheries community here, Wule Kakungulu, and the district leadership.
Amagye gano tugafunyemu ate ffe nga ffe abavubi kye tusaba banitwongedde ku magye kuba amagye gumakyali matono.
Parliament, for me, I'm happy with what Parliament did to come up and make a statement. But I think we should not stop at making a statement, but let's go down and analyze and look at issues of human rights abuse. There are people, our people are fond of talking about rights without responsibilities. Whereas it is your right to work, whereas it is your right to fish, you are not supposed to fish what? To kill the immature ones.
With all these arguments against UPDF withdrawal from the waters, between Parliament and the fishermen, who could be telling the truth? Here is the best way to establish.
You know, carrying on operation is not like, as you know, fishermen. Fishermen are hardcore. It is composed of hardcore criminals. So when you try to tell someone to hand over for him, in his perception, he may think that you are harassing him. But me, in my area of responsibility, there is no any harassment.
It was in 2017 when President Yoweri Museveni weighed in on reports of illegal fishing which was affecting the sector. But with Parliament taking such a position against army operations on the waters, who will take the day when the time comes? Henry Okurut, UBC.
If you have got a government which has closed off all other channels of peaceful change, what else could we do? We studied the dynamics of the situation. We knew that although we had 27 armed people, that we represented millions of potential soldiers. These thousands here, they were all civilians, all peasants. Many of them were peasants. So although the 27 armed people were a small number, they represented a huge force of potential soldiers. And we knew that with the correct tactics, we could enable the 27 to mobilize the millions who were on our side, but were not properly organized. These thousands here, they were all civilians, all peasants. Many of them were peasants. So although the 27 armed people were a small number, they represented a huge force of potential soldiers. So we educate everybody who's willing to work with us.
Vita
Of course, we still also use the old small tactics of company, section, level type of operations. A popular cause, which is very popular, but backed by initially irregular forces which are not regular armies, and which are not as armed as the establishment army. By using guerrilla tactics, eventually they build up enough strength to overwhelm the enemy.
Vita vya ukombo wa nchi yetu Uganda. Vita, vita, vita. Vita hivyo. Vita vya ukombozi. Vita vya ukombo wa nchi yetu Uganda. Sasa tunaita wananchi tusonge mbele, tutafuta adui, tukomboe taifa letu, tuwe na uhuru. Vita, vita, vita. Vita hivyo. Vita vya ukombozi. Vita vya ukombo wa nchi yetu Uganda. Vita, vita, vita. Vita hivyo. Vita vya ukombozi. Vita vya ukombo wa nchi yetu Uganda.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news tonight here on UBC TV. In our other top story today, UPDF forces have started an investigation into what could have led to the crash of one of the aircraft's military jet AF302 on training mission. Brigadier Richard Karemire, the UPDF spokesperson, said that the details of those on the plane will be made public once investigations are concluded.
The military helicopter jet Ranger AF302 on a training mission crashed in Gombo on Tuesday morning, killing the pilot and another crew member. Upon hearing the incident, UPDF dispatched an AF605 aircraft with the rescue team to Ndesa Hill, Butambala, Gomba. Several people thronged the area and were seen observing from a distance as the rescue team took control of the accident scene. According to UPDF, investigations have started.
Investigations have started in order to establish what the cause of that plane. It was a military aircraft, a Jet Ranger A320 that was on a training mission.
Eyewitnesses at Nakatoke village say the incident happened at around midday on Tuesday when the plane crashed on top of Ndesa Hill in Butambala Gomba district. They attributed the incident to the bad weather.
Olw'enkuba yakedde okutonnya omugoba waayo abuliddwa n'asobola okubeera ng'awaba n'agikuba mu lusozi era abantu babiri bafiiriddemu ne ku ssaawa eno wano we tuli naye ng'ekikangabwa ky'amaanyi nnyo.
Kubanga baafudembye nnyo kitegeeza nti kyekyavuddeko akabenje kano okuba ndowooza omugoba alemererwa ennyonyi naye nga abantu bayisibbwa bubi nnyo bambi ennyonyi yabayisizza bubi so kyo tutannamanya tubawaliwo abalala babaddemu abo babiri tumanyi naye nga.
Speaking to journalists at the scene of the accident, the spokesperson of Air Force, Brigadier Edward Birungi, said the duo was heading to Kabamba.
This aircraft was heading to Kabamba for a training exercise that is ongoing in Kabamba, and Air Force, being a joint exercise, Air Force was meant to participate in that training exercise. It's unfortunate that I have not reached there.
UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Richard Karemire told UBC that Uganda's military aircraft is well maintained, describing Tuesday's incident as unfortunate.
Our military aircrafts, I can talk about them, that they are well maintained. We have not had many incidents, but it's always an accident can happen. So in relation to this one, we have to await the report of the investigators.
Kalemire says details of the deceased will be made public once investigations are concluded.
We extend our deepest condolences to the families of the departed comrades and to the entire UPDF fraternity.
Bernard Higa, UBC.
May their souls rest in eternal peace. In other news, residents of Nyakashavya in Shema district, together with border riders, stormed the home of Twinomjisha Robina and set ablaze to her house, accusing the family of harboring thugs. Angry residents stormed Twinomjisha Robina's home, destroying her house, plantations and animal farms. The DPC Shema district, Skovia Birungi, says that after Twinomjisha Govin was arrested, he confessed how he has been terrorizing the area, stealing border motorcycles and selling them in Kampala.
In their hands, because first of all, they interfere with our investigations in one way or the other. Because if you go to someone's home, recover some stolen property, then the community that remains behind goes to their home and fundraises it. We shall now be time that every time we get information that someone's property is someone's home, we may end up fearing to go there in fear of what the community will do.
Well, in other news, Uganda Judicial Service Commission has asked those in position to apply for the posts of Chief Justice, Full Registrar and Deputy Registrar in the High Court to submit their applications in time. This was communicated by the Commissioner, Uganda Judicial Service Commission, Nora Matovu Owinyi, during the 22nd Judges Conference held at Mestil Hotel in Kampala.
Ku kifo kino olw'okuba Judicial Service Commission ke kavunaanyizibwa ku nsonga ey'okusunsula abaagala okwesimba ku kifo kino gye buvuddeko kaayisa ekiranga eri oyo yonna ayagala okwesimba ku kifo kino okuwaayo okusaba kwe mu budde. Nora Matovu Owinyi, Commissioner w'akakiiko ka Uganda Judicial Service.
Well, let's take a short break and we shall be correcting that story in our subsequent stories.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Remember, no person is too big or too small to avoid the effects of alcohol. Just one drink can increase the risk of a serious crash. Once it's in your blood system, the only remedy is time. Short-term remedies such as coffee, cold showers, or energy drinks don't help. If you need to travel after a drink, be responsible. Take a taxi or public transport, or just stay where you are. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based, and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all, or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
Well, in our news still, Uganda Judicial Service Commission has asked those in position to apply for the post of Chief Justice, full registrar and deputy registrar in the High Court to submit their applications in time. This was communicated by the Commissioner of Uganda Judicial Service Commission, Nora Matovu-Owini, during the 22nd Judges Conference held at Mestio Hotel in Kampala.
Chief Justice, Justice Pat Katre Magunda, will retire as the Chief Justice of Uganda, having served for 6 years as Chief Justice then. Thereafter, the Uganda Judicial Service
held at Mestilo Hotel.
In June this year, the Chief Justice, Justice Pat Katre Magunda, will retire as the Chief Justice of Uganda, having served for 6 years as Chief Justice then. Thereafter, the Uganda Judicial Service Commission advertised the positions of Chief Justice for Registrar and Deputy Registrar in High Court. It was in the 22nd Judges Conference held at Mestilo Hotel in Kampala that Nora Matovu-Owini, the Commissioner, Uganda Judicial Service Commission, emphasized this point, asking those with qualifications to apply in time.
Whether it goes through the law society as they recommend you, or the TPP, or the Attorney General's office, you still have to fill in the form, attach all the documents, and respond to that questionnaire, which is a self-assessment questionnaire.
However, some judicial officials requested the Commission that, beyond advertising, they should consult partners like Law Development Center, Uganda Law Society for Eligible Persons, on some positions like Chief Justice, among others.
What I have noticed in the few years I've been in the judiciary is that there are so many people who sit back who want to apply. And yet, many people see them as people who will be competent to serve in certain positions. Are you considering also mixing all these so that you on your own, using your database, can invite people you think are competent to come and interact and see whether they can fill those positions?
And also write institutions, write DPP. He's the one who supervises the lawyers and say, if you know of anyone in your department who is competent to be a judge, then the DPP, that's the crucial judge.
It is a mandate for the Judicial Service Commission to access applications for the position of Chief Justice and other rated posts before the recommended names are sent to the President for appointment. In the same conference, Nora Matovu-Owini highlighted some of the achievements by the Commission. They have managed to solve more than 386 complaints in 3 years.
In the fact that in total, 836 complaints have been completed, and right now, most of the communications have also been given to those concerned. We've done rigorous staff training as well as for the commissioners. We have improved the work processes. We have been able to secure better office facilities.
However, some judges expressed their concern on the issue of opening more than one complaint. However, some judges expressed their concern on the issue of opening more than one complaint in different offices and commissions.
You find the same complaint is before the Internal Disciplinary Committee, the same complaint is in the JC, the same complaint is in the JS, is in the IGG, the same complaint is in the State House. If JC is investigating a matter, should the same matter be investigated by IGG?
I'm Namamode Deborah, UBC.
Up to the 30s of.
Now, business Absa Bank Uganda has today gathered leaders from various industries to dissect the Africa Financial Markets Index. The Absa Africa Financial Markets Index, produced by the Official Monetary and Financial Markets Development, provides a toolkit for countries seeking to strengthen their financial markets infrastructure. Penina Nahuera with the story.
Today's gathering marks the third edition of Absa Financial Market Index report, which places Uganda in the 10th position with a score of 52 out of 100 overall and 2 points better than 2018 score, which showed Uganda as having a stable performance with a good foreign exchange access but low local investor capacity.
Also, to make it simpler, or to add other measures like financial inclusion. So there are definitely ways in which the index can improve. But for now, it's the only index that creates a benchmark on which to measure financial markets in the African economies.
Uganda ranks highest in East Africa on access to foreign exchange, a pillar that is supported by Bank of Uganda to facilitate growth in both private and public sectors.
Uganda has done, one, we have a more liquid foreign exchange market, especially Ikaba. Two, Bank of Uganda has been tracking movements and developments within on those sectors that affect the foreign exchange. So, by maintaining the stability of the exchange rate, we're introducing more certainty in those who are making investment decisions for either lending or for investment in this country.
The problem of attracting local investors still remains Uganda's lowest ranking pillar within the index.
Where Uganda still continues to have problems is in the area of actually improving the local industry conditions. And I think that what government perhaps could do is to begin to improve on the incentive regime and also the area of registration and servicing of companies.
The index produced by Official Monetary and Financial Institution Forum focuses on market depth coupled with access to foreign exchange, market transparency, tax and regulatory environment, capacity of local investors, and microeconomic opportunity as areas of interest. Reporting for UBC News, Penina Nahuera.
Penina. Now, the Immigration Directorate has called on all Ugandans to embrace the new technologies for applying e-passports online instead of crowding the headquarters without appointment. The Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, urged the Directorate to create sensitization portals for easy and quick adaptations.
Make them as human as possible.
In the last 3 years, Ministry of Internal Affairs embarked on improving passport services, immigration and citizenship services through automation. However, Ugandans are yet fully embrace the new technology to access services.
Feed in everything by yourself when actually you are feeding in wrong data, and then this passport again will be in wrong hands. You have to come and we take your picture and the fingerprints. So by all means, you have to come. In future, not very long future, we are going to have mobile kits, and these kits will go towards those who are not able to come, the sick and other categories of priority people.
The Immigration Directorate accused labor export companies overcrowding people at their offices without appointment.
When you print out, we shall give you a timing, according to a timing what you've scheduled. We shall give you that come to DCIC office, come to Ministry of Internal Affairs headquarters, come to our regional offices at such a particular time. We're trying to create order per particular hour. We have a certain number we can serve inside. Now confusion of those who look like, who make, I think, government look a little bit disorganized, combates these agents, these labor companies which drop them outside, not within their schedules. To just sit there with their bags, if you've noticed, and wait for a particular time.
The State Minister for Internal Affairs, Obiga Kania, decried of the corruption tendencies involved in passport acquisition.
All these are paid online. You've done your part. Why must you pay an extra? There is no agent out there, outside that gate there. There are people who masquerade out there and they say, these people inside there are not doing their work. It is so difficult. There's nothing difficult. If you have a problem, get to it to the desk. Let's do away with this issue of corruption.
The Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, calls for sensitization portals for quick adoption.
Continue educating Ugandans, because I believe Ugandans need this information, but also probably to tell us what are the requirements for one to apply online, because those requirements should be known to everyone, so that when somebody walks into the cafe, they know that I will need my name, maybe details concerning this and that to be in position to apply.
The e-passport was launched on the 9th of November 2018 in an effort to migrate from the ordinary machine-readable passport to the electronically supported. Abdul Nasir Lubama for UBC News.
In the world of sports, the Federation of Uganda Football Association has hailed the under-17 national women team over their triumph against Ethiopia in the first preliminary round of the World Cup qualifiers. Uganda won its home and away games to progress to the next round. And meanwhile, the under-20 women team hosts Tanzania on Sunday. Details follow.
The under-20 national team has intensified training at the StarTime Stadium in Lugogo ahead of the return leg game against Tanzania this Sunday. Uganda lost to Tanzania 2-1 in the first leg in Dar es Salaam and looking to better their performance this time around. During the training session held on Tuesday morning, the girls endured the heavy rains to work out. In training, emphasis was on transition, linking the defense to the midfield with an attack-minded format.
For the transition from defense to attack, that's speed. It's the speed we need, the aggressiveness of players and willingness.
Tanzania is expected in the country on Friday. Meanwhile, the national under-17 women football team received a warm reception from top FIFA officials, welcoming them back from Baoda, Ethiopia, where they played and beat the hosts to qualify for the second round of the under-17 World Cup qualifiers. Uganda now faces Tanzania at the next stage. The latter eliminated Burundi 6-1 on aggregate. And in the other news, local-based basketball players who are summoned on the national team are undergoing training games Cambridge. The Silverbacks are preparing for the Afro basketball qualifiers. The 14 players training includes City Oilers Ben Komakech, Tony Drileba, Jimmy Enabu, James Okello, Innocent Ochela, while other players are of Ndeje, UCU Cannons, JKL Dolphins, and Betway Power. Uganda is in the same group with Morocco and Egypt. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBC TV.
Sports on the international scene, Roger Federer defied edge and logic once again to save 7 match points before beating unseeded American Tennis Sandgren in a sensational Australian Open quarter-final. The out-of-sorts Swiss fought off from the fitness concerns before winning 6-3, 2-6, 2-6, 7-6, 10-8, and 6-3. World number 100 Sandgren looked set to be the lowest ranked player to reach the Melbourne semi-final since 1991. But the third seed Federer battled to win in the 3 hours and 28 minutes. The 20-time Grand Slam champion, who had a medical timeout in the third set for a groin problem, will play Serbia's Novak Djokovic in the last 4 after defending champion beat Canadian 32nd seed Milos Raonic. Federer calmly raised his racket in the air, taking acclaim of the buzzing crowd on Rod Laver Arena after Sandgren dumped a forehead into the net on the Swiss first match point. The fatigued pair shook hands at the net, Sandgren wishing his rival luck before trudging off a standing ovation from the 15,000 fans barely able to believe what they had seen. With 38-year-old Federer well into the twilight of his career, he has to carefully manage his workload to preserve himself for the things which matter most. Meanwhile, the defending champion Novak Djokovic set up an Australian Open semi-final against Roger Federer after producing another clinical performance to beat Canadian 32nd seed Milos Raonic. Djokovic dismantled Raonic's potent serve to win 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 and 7-1 despite an eye problem late in the third set. The Serb second seed, who is aiming for a record extending 8th title, had lost his one set in Melbourne so far. Djokovic, 32, will meet Swiss third seed Federer in Thursday's semi-final. Still in sports, the Uganda Badminton Federation has held its national trials to seed players ahead of the international tournaments. The seed trials held at the Lugogo Indoor Stadium was done to help assess on the form of players and those that need assistance. Top seed player Brian Cassidy missed out due to an injury. After the one-day workout series, Wanagalia Israel topped the male players to be seeded as number 1 in the game. Seno Davis is currently ranked 2nd, Atam Friday in 3rd, while Mihigo Daniel is 4th position. In the ladies category, Mbabazi Gladys is currently on the top seeded player, followed by Tracy Naluwoza. Husna Kobugabe is in the 3rd, while Mebo Namako is 4th seeded. Uganda Badminton Federation is set to host the 15th edition of Uganda International Badminton Tournament in February. 40 countries, including USA, Germany, Russia, Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya, are sending competitors for the Games. Top players in the world will compete looking for points to boost the Tokyo 2020 Olympic qualification. To the end of our bulletin, let's take a look at our top stories tonight, and then we shall see where that goes. In our top story, Museveni lashes out at the judiciary over investors. And still again, we see the UPDF confirming its military aircraft crash, and investigations are underway. Ugandans are still averse to the online e-passport, and we shall be updating you on how exactly you should do that. The Uganda Judicial Service Commission to replace Chief Justice. And in sports, the Silverbacks resume training. Well, it's been a pleasure having you watching us tonight. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold and Mugalu Muhammad on sign language. We now leave you with a weather update. Good night.
Brought to you by NEMA, ensuring sustainable development.
Good evening once again. Welcome to the weather forecast with Kutasamil. We woke up to heavy rain, thunder showers in the most parts of the country. 9 a.m. This morning, Kintebe received 96.4 millimeters of rainfall. Soti received 65.3, Buda received 38.5, and our capital city, Kampala, received 15.3. This is due to the high pressure center that we see in our southern parts of the country. It brings in moist air within our country that brings us the rainfall that we receive these days. Tomorrow morning, we expect to wake up with thunder showers in most parts of the country, apart from Alua, Kasese, and Imbara that are expecting some cloudy condition. In afternoon hours, we expect a continuation of rainfall along the lake shores. Then most parts of the other countries are going to continue with cloudy conditions. Temperatures are expected to reach 28 in the northern parts of the country. Our capital city, Kampala, is going to be 26, and Got Kampala is going to have 23 degrees. In other cities of the world, we are forecasting Mombasa with light showers, plus Paris and Kigali. Dubai with hot conditions, with rising to 29 degrees Celsius. And my name is Kutasamiri. Welcome.
Brought to you by NEMA, ensuring sustainable development. While was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.